Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity and today I'm reviewing Sandland, developed by ILCA and published by Bandai Namco. So what is Sandland? Sandland is an action RPG where you became the main character as Beelzebub, a Fiend Prince. You lead your company of heroic misfits and explore the legendary world of Sandland, created by Akira Toriyama. The premise is after enduring years of natural disaster and war, the world is left without its main supply of water. The river that provided water to the country dried up long ago. So you take control of the Fiend Prince Beelzebub, his chief chaperone Thief, and the fearless Sheriff Rao, we're in search of the legendary spring hidden in the desert. The game boasts an open world that goes beyond Sandland, 13 unlockable vehicles with a range of customization options, including leveling up with various mechanic parts, and your own room to design and decorate. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, there is button remapping and colorblind options, and 3 difficulty options. There is also an autopilot option within the game, allowing for players to rest their hands at any given time outside of combat. Subtitle options are only on and off and provide no colour variations. Sound options are equally limited, so should you have sound issues, this game would not be for you. First up is gameplay. Now, my knowledge of Sandland was non-existent, and I went into this game only with my knowledge of the Dragon Ball franchise being my reference of the amazing Akira Toriyama's work. Whilst his creation has been around in its manga format since the early 2000s before transitioning to graphic novel, then film, it was still only really known to the most truest of fans. Thankfully, the game is aimed to shed some light on this franchise to a wider audience, which is even more prominent due to his recent unexpected passing earlier this year. The developers and the creator himself decided to make the game retell the manga series, but also expand upon it where the series left off. For those like myself which are new to Sandland, this is great as we're getting to experience the full package and join the ride of something new along with the veteran fanbase. Now the game starts with you taking control of Beelzebub, the son of Lucifer and the Prince of Demons, raiding a sole Royal Army convoy to steal water for your fellow demons. You bring it to a halt, and in doing so you learn some hand-to-hand combat against the soldiers driving. X is your basic attack, with B being your powerful attack. Right trigger as your dodge, followed by Y being your finisher. As the game progresses, you get introduced into a nice array of skills like Fury and Demon Darkness, which can only be used once said special gauge is full from attacking enemies. This gives you more options when attacking and allows you to break up the button mashing when fighting enemies on foot. After said skirmish with the Royal Army, you make your way to your Demon Town, one of the many NPC hubs in the game where you can pick up side quests and main missions. Soon, a sheriff known as Rao turns up and invites you to find the legendary spring hidden in the desert. You accept, and here is where the real open world fun starts as you get to access your bots, a home hub, and can then enjoy the game's vehicular combat. Whilst melee combat is often compulsory in tight spaces and optional in open, vehicular combat is almost essential in the open world arena. There is a number of bots for you to create, pick up and win, each with their own unique traits, and they are suited to specific areas of the world. For instance, the hover bot can cross water and quicksand, the jump bot can get you to higher areas, and the bike can allow you to cross big jumps, allowing to access to zones not normally available. Combat in each of the bots are also very different due to their unique loadouts, and because you can switch on the fly using an option wheel, you can change to suit the enemy attacks also on the fly. You'll soon find yourself jumping over tank missiles in the jump bot, firing back with your own grenade launcher before switching out to the buggy to mop up last foot soldiers with dual missiles and a Gatling gun. This is thanks to a storage capsule you get early on that allows you to carry up to 5 vehicles, which you can revise the loadout of at water stations or your home hub. Now, compared to the melee combat, this is fast, precise, and a game of cat and mouse, depending on your choice of vehicle. How you engage with any enemy type is solely up to you, from ploughing headlong through enemy fire with your beefy tank, to zipping around hit and run style with your bike. Every battle felt fresh and enjoyable with every new vehicle I collected or created. Speaking of creation, getting bots isn't as simple as finding them. You actually have to build them from scratch. You first find a core frame of the bot you wish to build. This can be done from side quests, bounties or general enemy engagements, with them dropping random loot. Next is then visiting your garage in your home hub and building the parts needed to form said bot, which often entails a primary and secondary weapon, engine and suspension. Once you have built said parts, only then can you create the bot of your choice. This is only the start of your bot customization, as you will continuously be upgrading those parts and the vehicle stats as a whole as you progress and level up. Engagements and quests will often provide you with new parts of varying tiers with wildly different stats and abilities. X chips will soon be introduced that buff said stats or even provide new weapons or defences alongside your primary and secondary ones. And because you can build any part or vehicle anytime with enough resource, you can also create and hold unique variations of each bots numerous times with said different stats and abilities. Combine this with different tier parts like rare and legendary items, allowing stat customization, and things can even get more technical if you want. Want a heavy hitting tank that's slow but huge on health but great at long distance attacks? Or would you prefer a tank that's fast and has an attack drone for hit and run capabilities? The choice is almost endless in what you want to create. As mentioned earlier, you get access to a home hub early on, a run-down village called Spino that holds your garage and in the beginning little else. One of the big key aspects of the game is your home hub and doing side quests, as these will often provide you with residents with special talents that then open up more customization and upgrade options. For instance, you can get a painter for vehicle colour customization, or a junker for specialised engine parts, and a furniture maker for personalising your own room. That's right, in this home hub, you can even have the ability to create your very own living quarters. Now, quests aren't all go here and fetch that either. There has been a considerable effort to make each quest personal and relatable to its inhabitants. To mix it up further, some quests add a stealth element to the game, where you need to make your way through Metal Gear Solid style, avoiding enemy sight, or, if you can get behind them, scaring them into submission. Racing quests have also been added to allow you to win unique core frames and new parts, and are a great break from exploring the world, but like bounties are solely up to you when and if you want to take them on. Bounties are there to give the player more opportunities to gain more coin and resources that are needed for crafting. But the biggest help for new components is exploration in general and stumbling onto ruins, caves and villages where are a godsend in keeping your pockets full and providing you with top tier parts. Now you may feel alone in this journey, but you will have 2 companions at all times, Thief and Sheriff Rayo, who aren't just there as mindless NPCs, and depending on how you upgrade your skill tree, they can provide help too. The skill tree is split into 2 parts, main protagonist and companions. Each time you level up, you gain a point for both to spend as you wish. The protagonist one solely provides moves and buffs for your main character, while the companion ones add passive buffs to your bots and actual attacks, like throwing explosives at your enemies when in hand-to-hand combat, or an extra tank to add support if things get too tough. A 3rd companion tree gets unlocked later in the game, but I won't spoil that for you here. Playing this game, you can see there is a clear vision to ensure the works of Akira Toriyama are kept pure, and it helps that this was one of the last games he himself had direct involvement with. Fun is at its core, and I can say that this game not only has made me fall in love with the lesser known works of its creator, but RPGs in general again. Up next, graphics. When researching the art style of Sandland, I have to say that this is near perfection to the original manga and anime series I have ever seen. It generally looks like they have lifted this out of the recent anime and directed it straight to your home screen. The 3D cell shading visuals are crisp, smooth and stunningly impressive, with only the slightest of screen tearing on some of the menu loadouts. The open world of Sandland, even with its barrenness, still manages to be a visual treat regardless of the endless amount of sand on show. The landscape may look all brutal heat and endless dunes, but often gives way to huge mountain cliffs, deserted towns, and junk heaps of lost, forgotten technology. The closest game that also probably comes to showcasing a truly apocalyptic desert world would be Avalanche Studios' Mad Max game. Whilst you can, and I would recommend you do so, explore the open world arena by foot or vehicle. The game also does provide a decent amount of water stations that provide you with fast travel options to make quest progression quick should you not wish to travel. Then there is change dramatically in the later game's arena, swapping sand for forest with equally visually stunning vistas for you to enjoy as you make your way through the story. Speaking of the story here is also like its landscape, a bit of a slow burn in the beginning until you explore it further, before the human traits of the characters shine through and captivate you. You never actually kill anyone in the game, and the dialogue often points out the question of why do you always meet people who manage to escape you. Regardless, vehicle battles are very impressive, with explosion, vehicle parts and sand being blown everywhere, and that's not including a plethora of varied animal and human enemies often waiting for you to pick a fight with them. Boss fights are equally impressive and well choreographed in how they will attack you, with the level of difficulty being just right in my opinion. In fact, leveling in general is superb, with enemies scaling to your level unless you enter in a restricted area, so you always don't feel too overpowered or underpowered at any given time. And finally, sound. The music, sound and voice work is equally fantastic. Hearing Jonathan Lippo voicing Rao was enjoyably unnerving, as I'm sure he was channeling his inner Bruce Campbell when speaking his lines.
Well, we might be able to acquire one at a junker's market.
A junker's market? Great idea! Is one nearby?
I wouldn't know.
If anything, my only criticism was that during your journeys across Sandland, there isn't enough dialogue variations, with conversations being repeated more times than I would have preferred.
Keep it. It might turn out to be useful later. I'll keep it. It might turn out to be useful later.
The music here ranges from piano-based melodies, bouncing drum beats and electronic choirs that switch seamlessly depending on location and event. Meaty weapon sounds, booming explosions, and even the sparkly pickup noises all engaged my joyful inner child that Toriyama's works often produced. In terms of recommendation, a good quality soundbar is the way to go, really, to let loose those thrilling tones of this epic adventure that will keep you coming back for more. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Sandland is a must own. I think most could see the writing on the wall with this review, as my enjoyment for this new franchise has blown me away. This is no mere cash grab. This has quality and respect oozing out of every pore. If you're a fan of Sandland, this is for you, but equally, if you're a newbie like myself, then this is no better place to start to pick up and fall in love with a new world full of amazing characters. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £59.99, or approximately $60, and depending on your skill and patience would give you well over 30 plus hours worth of gameplay. Combine this with a plethora of hidden ruins, fun side quests, new gear items and a ton of customization options, and you can easily add another 10 hours into the mix. In the words of Akira Toriyama, I'm full of curiosity about things, and it's fine as long as it's fun at that time, yet at the same time I hate things that are tough. This game follows that ethos perfectly, and couldn't be a better tribute to the legendary man himself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.